8:35 now. Right now, some conservative groups are sharing ways for the next GOP president to reshape the government. It's called Project 2025, and it was created more than a year ago. But this year, talks of that plan has popped up for both Republicans and Democrats. Our Washington correspondent Christopher Salas is helping us get the facts.
You've probably started hearing about Project 2025 as we get closer to the general election. So what is Project 2025? Let's get the facts. Project 2025 is a nearly 1,000-page document that was launched last year, and the people behind it call it a, quote, presidential transition project. Basically, a number of conservative organizations got together to prepare a roadmap for the next Republican president. The efforts are led by a D.C. think tank, the Heritage Foundation, and it involves a number of former Trump administration officials, like Ken Cuccinelli, Rick Dearborn, Trump's former deputy chief of staff, Christopher Miller, the former acting defense secretary, and Peter Navarro. Their idea is to have a plan, quote, ready to go on day one that would reshape the government as we know it. Much of this would happen by reinstating Schedule F. That's a Trump-era executive order that would reclassify tens of thousands of federal workers so they can be fired more easily. Now, how would that work? Well, right now there are about 2 million federal workers in government agencies across the country, and they remain in those jobs no matter who's the president. Only about 4,000 of those workers are considered, quote, political appointees, who typically change with each administration. Schedule F would put a large number of government career employees at risk, and in many cases replace them with political appointees. That's just one piece of the plan. Other parts call for dismantling the Department of Homeland Security and reassigning some of its functions, eliminating the Federal Department of Education, and top-to-bottom overhauls of the Justice Department, including curbing its ability to operate independently from the White House. And the agenda isn't just about how the government functions, but also who it reaches, with agendas that could have immediate impacts on families, like page 592 of the plan, which outlines big changes to who earns overtime, saying that, quote, overtime requirements may discourage employers from offering certain fringe benefits. And the agenda also advances the push for abortion restrictions, specifically calling to reverse the approval of chemical abortion drugs, such as mifepristone. All of this, Project 2025 says, could be enacted by installing top allies into acting administrative roles to bypass the Senate confirmation process. And that wouldn't be the only part of Project 2025 that would bypass Congress. Remember, presidents typically rely both on the House and Senate to make laws and put policies in place. But many legal scholars say Project 2025 leans into a view of executive power that suggests the president has broad authority to act alone. Helping you get the facts, I'm Christopher Salas.